Welcome back to another episode of Yachting Unplugged. Rick, it's so great to see you.
Hey, it's great to see you too, Kim. You're all the way across the country right now, though.
I am in Phoenix, Arizona, here at the International Boating and Water Safety Summit. I'm the Master of Ceremonies. They hired me to moderate many different panels and to make sure that the program goes very smoothly. I'm super excited about that. Safety has been a huge initiative for me.
Oh, yeah.
It started this time last year when I visited as a keynote speaker, and through storytelling after storytelling, it really was evident that we don't talk enough about safety. So I incorporated safety into the Boat Boss platform, and we've really made huge strides over the last year. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm actually right across. I'm looking at the Arizona Cardinals Stadium right now. And fun fact, I don't know if you realize that they are the oldest NFL team in America history.
That's weird. I thought for sure that was going to be the honor of the Green Bay Packers, but it's not. It's the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah. They were founded in 1898, so they've been around for some time. But
well, you got a cool gig going on over there. That's fantastic. Good stuff.
Yeah, and it's a really cool thing. I love being Master of Ceremonies and keynote speakers and stuff like that. So both you and I speak well in public. So if anyone's interested, please reach out to us. It's an exciting thing. We'd love to help out and really just bring our voice to the local events.
Yeah, it's good to plug in that way. Yeah. And so absolutely anybody that's looking for a couple industry guys, gals to help out, here we go.
Okay, so let's get right into it.
It's separated here, but this is fun.
Yes, we have safety initiative is huge right now. Captain Brock Horner, let's talk about that.
And let's not confuse him with Captain Brock Warner.
Yes.
Right?
Well, I'm going to play a quick video of the captain that had an altercation with a minor on the water and went from a really like an influencer to a macro. He's a there's not many people in the world that don't know who Brock Horner is. So here's the video, and it's an unfortunate situation. We're going to talk about it. Here we go.
All right, bro.
Bust me out.
Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Please, bro.
Don't hit the fucking fire.
Please, okay, please, bro. Please, bro. Please, bro. Bro, I'm a kid, bro. Please.
Wow. Yeah, and we couldn't show much of that video because of all of the profanity that wonderful captain was throwing around.
Yeah, it's really a shame, and it really was a case of mistaken identity. It was not the youth that he was accusing him of something. It was someone else. So,
right.
He just went off on him on this poor child.
He just lost it. And here's the thing. We're always on social media, whether you like it or not. There's cameras everywhere. So. And he went on, if you listen to the whole altercation, he started out by talking about what a famous charter fishing captain he was, a very special guy, obviously, owns Tarpon Coast fishing charters in Punta Gorda. And he boarded that vessel. That was just, bottom line, the Punta Gorda Police Department has charged him with burglary and assault or battery. So there's consequences to that too.
Absolutely. There, as a captain, there's so much responsibility, and then you add an influencer on top of that. So your platform is out there, you're out there and exposed just responsibility wise, but also your impact on your social platforms. And he really did not do our industry right there. And especially that poor family and the child himself. I know he's probably in 16. I don't even know how old he is, but he's a minor. Our hearts go out to the family, and I hope this gets resolved. And there's a big lesson to be learned here.
Yeah. Just conduct yourself appropriately on the water. Listen, I'm on the water a lot with my own boat, and sometimes people make a mistake. Sometimes they cut in front of you. Sometimes they do something that just aggravates the heck out of you, and you're like, wow, really? But take a deep breath. You're on the water because you're there for a recreation. It's for a good time. There's some grace and forgiveness sometimes, and sometimes it's just better off to just move on and
Well, there was a lot of energy on the water, and speaking, in the video you can feel it. There was so much tension. Oh, yeah. But now we're going to switch to some good energies. I
like good energy.
One of my favorite yachts in the world is actually Energy. We're going to talk about two big yachts that just hit the market recently, and Energy. Yeah. First one, I'm going to show a quick video about Energy. She is absolutely beautiful.
So energy, yeah. So energy. She's a cool boat. She's a 78 meter here in the States. That's a 255-foot yacht built by Amels Shipyard, Amels Yachts in the Netherlands. Fun fact: I just sat last week with Comer Dahmen. He's the executive director. He's the founder of Dahmen Shipyards. Great interview with my podcast, Yachting USA, and I had interviewed his daughter, Rose Dahmen, back in November while we were in Amsterdam.
Remember that, yes.
And she's the managing director of Amel Shipyard, and she was, talking quite a bit about what they call their 80 meter program, which this boat fits into that. So cool boat, cool shipyard, really cool company. The Dahmen story is an amazing story. That podcast, by the way, comes out this Easter Sunday, the 20th. So if you're interested in that history of shipbuilding and yacht building, check it out. By the way, guess what that boat sells for?
200 plus million.
Yeah, you're right in the ballpark. $225 million.
It's incredible. Well, she's a beautiful boat. So she's a young boat. 2022, she was built. So it's obviously worth every penny to somebody. So
I'm sure it's the experience. What else you got though? There's some other cool boats on the market that have just kind of come up.
There's Apo, I heard, which is now the new Lady Georgia that's hit the market.
That's 115 meter Lursen.
Yes, and that one is a little bit more, if you will. It's 100 plus million more.
Yeah, it's 386 million bucks but it's a much bigger boat, 115 meters. That's 377 feet here in the States.
A lot bigger. And I love the story behind it. Patrick Dorigi is from Canada, and he was a goalie in the Canadian Hockey League. And Maria Bartiromo just did a whole interview with him last month. He is the founder and the CEO of GFL Environmental, they're based in Canada, but they're the fourth largest trash or waste company here in America. Even though they're headquartered in Canada, they bought Waste Services, I believe is the company they bought. Quickly, their growth has been just insane. It's been epic. But he is the current owner of that boat.
Wow. Here's an interesting parallel. If you know anything about the Huizinga family, Wayne Huizinga started waste management, and he's a big yacht guy. One of his biggest boats was motor yacht Floridian, which was a ocean fast boat built in Australia. And they also acquired and built up the Rybovich shipyard. So apparently there's good opportunities in waste management, waste production, waste, whatever you want to call it, taking care of our trash.
There's one thing certain, you're always going to take out the trash.
There you go. I love it. I love the parallels here for sure. So
let's talk international news.
Oh boy,
worldwide, it's been
we can't ignore the 800-pound gorilla in the room. We can't, and that is the impact of the tariffs and what's going on. I have had my phone blowing up, calls and comments coming in from all points of the globe. And the first thing I'd say, Kim, is I apply what I call the Rick rule to this. And what that is basically stop, sit back for a minute, let it play. You jump in early and you've got an opinion or you've got a certainty that you see what's happening. You don't. There's so much economic strategy in play right now. Whether you like it or you don't, it is what it is. And, I think what we have to do is just pay attention and understand that there's reasons for these economic drivers. And, time will tell as to what it really does.
No, I couldn't agree more. It's, there's always pain, and through pain, there's progress that will be made through all this. And we're going to bring jobs home to America. And in the long run, it will work. But we have to go through that pain point that we're all experiencing right now. But in a bear market, there's always opportunity. There is extreme wealth that is always generated during these times. We saw it at the Palm Beach Boat Show. Some people did very well. Some companies did well. Some brokers did well. Lean into opportunity, folks. This is the time that if you're on the sideline about a smaller boat or a cruiser or open fisherman or a yacht, mega yacht, now is the time to buy. Whether it's buy or refit, repower, because there's some deals to be made out there. There's dealerships, there's companies that are looking to negotiate, sharpen their pencils, right, Rick?
No question about it. And like you said, the downturn sometimes creates some wonderful opportunities. I think the other piece for people to really think about, and I've been in manufacturing since the 1980s, so I've watched what's happened over the last several decades as our manufacturing has been exported to China and other points, but China's the big one here, because there is such a trade deficit between the United States and communist China. And so what had happened is, companies that were here in the United States manufacturing parts and fittings and engine blocks and things that we use in the production of our yachts and boats here in the United States was sent over to China, and we got addicted to inexpensive or lower priced goods coming out of China. And we compensated for the lower quality in some cases, the shipping challenges, whatever that looked like. But coming out of COVID issue, remember what happened to our supply chain and how devastating that was to our ability to stay in production. Now we've got the tariffs, and the pricing of components coming out of China is going to almost certainly be increased significantly. Good opportunity for U.S. manufacturers to take a fresh look. And whether you're a U.S. boat manufacturer looking for your supply chain, start looking domestically again. There are many companies here in the United States would probably love to come back into the role of supply. And if you are a manufacturer in the United States, take a fresh look at your markets and take a look at your potential clients. You may find that there's a appetite for buying domestically again. Let's hope so.
That's right. Make America strong. That's what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about local news, some local boating news. We're both from South Florida. There was an unfortunate pontoon accident, which I saw the photo and the video. I mean, it sliced the pontoon boat in half.
Just about, yeah, Biscayne Bay. And there was this happened in the middle of the day. It wasn't a nighttime collision. If you boat around the ICW here in Florida, I'm sure it's the same way going up the ICW in other states. A lot of these channel markers are not illuminated. They show up on your charts, but you have to know how to read a chart. And a lot of boaters don't. But this happened in the middle of the day, and that was And
I don't think they've determined what happened. Maybe it was a mechanical failure, operator error. We don't know yet, folks. But
the video I was watching made me think that the helmsman just was looking someplace else. He just wasn't looking directly ahead, and all of a sudden, sometimes too, when it's directly in front of you, you can't almost see it because your vision is everywhere else but right there. Yeah, took it right on the nose, literally split the boat between the pontoons. That's why it didn't sink. The pontoons were intact. It was everything between that was tore up.
I know, it's crazy how it's like right dead center, right down the middle of the boat. But some other accidents, I think we should take a step out of our industry and talk about the aviation accidents. Two prominent families were devastated. We had a Siemens executive and actually a power couple. Both of them work for Siemens. They were visiting New York City from Spain, and they took in one of those sightseeing helicopter rides that unfortunately their 3 children and the power couple and the pilot did not make it through the accident. It's an unfortunate situation. They landed the Hudson River was super freezing cold, and our hearts go out to them. And then there's the family in Boca that lost, I believe it was dad, son, and maybe granddaughter. I don't know the situation, but quite a bit of devastation there. And we're sorry, our hearts go out to that family.
Yeah, single engine Cessna, it was very, very, very tragic. And just as a good reminder that, aviation safety is also in the focus, and, we assume that things are always right, and you just have to know that there's a certain inherent risk, particularly when it's private aviation, and both of these were private aviation incidents.
Well, any other news that we can report locally that you can think of?
Well, I think there's really something cool coming up. You know me, I'm a very avid diver. I've got a reputation for the kind of diving I like to do, and I'm a big advocate for protecting our reefs. And coming up Friday, April 25th, the weekend after Easter, there's an organization called Reel It In for the Reefs. And they're basically having a call out to all South Florida divers who want to come out and help clean up the reefs. This is really cool. This is a annual community-wide reef cleanup initiative, and they're asking for all the certified scuba diving community to come together to help protect Florida's marine resources by removing debris from reefs and everywhere from Stewart all the way down to Miami on Friday the 25th. Okay. It's sponsored by the National Save the Sea Turtle Foundation. What's cool is participants won't have to pay for the dive charter fees. The dive shops and dive charter or operators that are participating will provide the charter for no fee. You also receive a long sleeve rash guard t-shirt, collection bags to put your debris in, line cutting tools, glass bottles for the hooks you might take off the reefs, all there for you while the supplies last. If you're coming out and you're a certified diver, you are welcome to bring your own collection gear, and we suggest you bring your own gloves. That's important if you're working around reefs and taking debris off the reefs. And you can learn more about this if you go to the link that we're putting up right there, reelitinforthereefs.org. If you go there, there's a registration page. Sign up, get out there, clean up these reefs. You know what's good is it's not just people think about reefs as coral and sponges and all that stuff, but it's this stuff that also the sea turtles and the other marine life gets fouled up in, and you probably save a few lives in the process.
I mean, our greatest assets in the water is the life that lives in it, and so super important that we all get involved and wrap our arms around this initiative. So thanks for that. There was also another accident, I believe, where 2 boaters were rescued, and I want to talk about how important it is, folks, that where did that happen, that they were rescued?
That was another part of Florida called Matalaca Pass, and that's near Sword Point in Florida. 2 boaters were rescued after their vessel began sinking. I don't know the reasons, but anytime a vessel starts sinking, well, there's only a few things that usually it's water coming into the vessel that makes it sink. You lost your watertight integrity somehow. So, I'm not aware of any real significant severe weather. So it's more likely maintenance issues that have come into play here. And, all it takes is a through-hole fitting to fail or
or leaving the plug off the boat when you put
that never happens, Kim. Yeah, we've seen those incidents at the boat ramps too often. But this is just underscores, I think, why it's important to really be safe on the water.
I couldn't agree more. Well, we've got some events coming up. Like I said, I'm here at the International Boating and Water Safety Summit. It's going on until Thursday. If you are here, please come see me. I'd like to talk about what you guys are doing to push the needle. Rick, we've got the American Boating Congress coming up in DC. I'll be attending that as well. It's super important. We've got the right whale, the final leg of this. I was speaking with Pat Healy from Viking Yachts last week. The last leg is the yacht side is the only one that is, I believe it's 60 feet and above that has not.
That's right. That's right.
Talk about that. The others have been basically we've won 2 major victories, and this is the final one.
Right. Well, and a shameless plug here too, Kim, because I had a wonderful 90-minute conversation with Pat Healy on Yachting USA, my podcast that came out last Sunday, and he talks about this. He goes into quite some detail how Viking Yacht and his family were big advocates going to DC and helping to essentially change these rules and the benefit of boaters. What a gentleman he is, what an advocate for our industry he is, did a great job, and now we're coming to the finish line. So if you're interested in his story, the Viking story, go to the Yachting USA podcast and check it out. It's up now. It's a wonderful conversation, and anything and everything you've ever wanted to know about Viking yachts, it's there.
Yeah, and hats off to the whole family. The Healy family is 61 years strong as the founders and the owners of Viking and Valhalla.
4 generations.
4 generations, yes. So, and he has 3 amazing children that I've met, and hats off to the next generation. It's really exciting to see what's going to happen there. So we have a new thing we're going to talk about each week. It's called the tip of the week. Kim and Rick are always talking technology. This platform right now is a testament. If we can't be together, we're still going to bring you the news through an online studio. We're always pushing the needle in technology. So Rick came to me and said, we're big into ChatGPT, Gemini, and all the different AI tools out there. My son is majoring at FSU in computer science AI. But you told me about something new, and tell me. I'm so excited. I can't wait to research it myself.
You're going to like this one, Kim. I heard one of my heroes, Elon Musk, talk about his AI technology he's been developing. I've been using ChatGPT. It's good. It certainly is a wonderful tool. I started playing around this past week with Grok 3, Grok 3.
Okay.
Third generation of this technology. And I have got to tell you, it's amazing.
Is it? Okay.
You basically tell it how deep down the rabbit hole you want it to go, and it'll go. And it's the results that I get, the information it's able to glean from all sorts of sources, open sources, is incredible. So let's see how good it really is. I asked it to help connect me with one of my heroes in podcast and in media.
There it is. I put it there.
What's that? There it is. There it is. Yeah. So we're going to see if I can bring on a pretty special guest onto my show, and I used Grok 3 to help get me connected to this individual. Okay. So knock wood. But I would just suggest, as a tip of the week, check it out. It's a really cool AI tool. It's available for download. I actually used my X account to sign into it. Didn't cost me anything. Play with it. Let us know what you think.
I love it. Well, I'm excited for next week's tip of the week and next week's Yachting Unplugged. Like I said, this is a show that we've made a commitment. It's going well. There's so much traction, amazing, and we can't thank everyone enough for your followers, the following, the shares, the views. I mean, it's outstanding to see how successful this show is becoming. So we're going to bring it to you every Monday. So every Monday, yes, we're going to check all platforms for the Yachting Unplugged industry news. Kim Sweers, Rick Thomas. It's really exciting, and thank you again for all your support. Look forward to seeing everybody on the water. Don't forget to boat smart from the start. Rick, any words of wisdom you can share?
You know what? It's hard to follow up on such a profound. The building safety is incredibly important. But also, you like that logo up there? You're going to start seeing that showing up on some apparel we're going to be offering for you here soon.
Yeah, so really excited about the growth of our brand. So everyone, be well, and don't forget, whatever you do, be the best version of yourself, and be nice, right? In the world where there's a lot of hatred going on, be nice, everybody.
Yes. Do well for others.
All right. Well, Rick, until next time, I'll see you back on the East Coast at the end of the week.
Travel well, Kim. Until next time, I'm out of here.
Everyone have an epic week. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.